Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Michael /PokeOz. In today's video, we're going to have a bit of a candid conversation about Pokemon card investing. This is one of those videos where you don't need to watch the screen. There's not going to be any graphics up here at all. So pop it on while you're going for a drive, pop it on in the headphones while you're going for a walk or at the gym or at work or doing the housework around home, pop it on the telly, whatever it might be. This is one of those videos you don't need to watch. So just tune in. And I guess this is a dangerous video. Dangerous because it's really just me talking from some thoughts, and that's what I try and do every video, but this one, it almost wasn't planned. Like normally I do write notes and then I go for the video in one take. Sometimes I have some notes pinned up behind me and I can look at them, but this is literally, I haven't done any notes. This is just off the fly, some conversational type thoughts, and these are sometimes the best videos. These are the sort of conversations you can get deep into with maybe some friends or family that are in the hobby, and these are my favorite sort of conversations. So what I really wanted to delve into was investing in more expensive items, and also this massive argument around things not going where they have in the past in terms of sealed products, too many people hoarding them and too many sealed away and then not realizing any gains like they used to. And I wanted to start this off with a story before we, I guess, get into the crux of the video. And here's the story, right? Let's rewind back pretty much bang on 5 years or nearly 6 almost, but 5 to 6 years ago, we were in the same place at the start of Sword and Shield as where we are now at the start of Mega Evolution. And bear with me on this. So here's two time frames I want you to keep in mind. So right now we're at the very start of Mega Evolution. We've just had the second main set come out and we're about to have the third main set, which is a holiday-based set, Ascended Heroes, come out. But we're just kicking off with with Mega Evolution. So if we rewind back one era, we're in Scarlet and Violet. If we rewind back 2 eras, we're into Sword and Shield. If we go back 5.5 years ago, when we're just sinking our teeth, or 6 years ago, just sinking our teeth into the start of Sword and Shield block, if we go back 1 era, we're at Sun and Moon. If we go back 2 eras, we're at X and Y. If we happen to go back 3 eras, we're in Black and White. And same thing here, if we go back 3 eras from Mega Evolution right now, we're in Sun and Moon. And here's the conversation or topic of conversation I want to have. Around mid-2020, so about 5.5 years ago, as Sword and Shield was just getting started, I guess that's when I really started to sink my teeth into Pokemon card investing. And geez, it's gone quick, hasn't it? That time has absolutely flown by. Darkness Ablaze had just come out. There was news of this fantastic Pikachu-based set, Vivid Voltage, which was going to be bright and colourful and believe it or not, scalped somewhat. You wouldn't think so at the time. And then, there were sets like Champion's Path with 2 big Charizard chase cards inside it. And everything was swimming along quite nicely. Albeit, look, those sets haven't proven to be the best investments, particularly if you bought them at the hype and they were very pumped up in price. But my point being made here, if we go back 3 eras then, we go all the way back to Black and White era at the start of Sword and Shield. I remember thinking, rather than just buying, say, a booster box or 5 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage, which was going to cost you somewhere around probably $700 to $800 at the time with how much they were hyped up. Imagine if you went all the way back to Black and White era and bought a booster box then. To give you an idea, and this is the story I want to paint, to give you an idea, at the start of Sword and Shield block, you could go all the way back to Black and White era and you could buy a booster box like Dragons Exalted for a couple of $1,000. You could buy a booster box like Plasma Storm for $4,000 to $5,000. Now, this doesn't sound overly cheap, does it? Like, it's still expensive. That's the point I'll make will come in a second. Continue with me with this story. So you could buy Dragons Exalted, which is one of the arguably top 3 booster boxes from Black and White era, or Plasma Storm. Sort of $2,000 to $3,000 for Dragons Exalted, $4,000 to $5,000 for Plasma Storm. At the time, it seemed very expensive. Now, I just look at the completed listings of those booster boxes on eBay. And most recent sales, Dragons Exalted has gone for $11,500 and Plasma Storm has gone for over $21,000. Now, at the time, you thought to yourself, oh, well, those sets have done all the appreciation they can do, surely. And when you looked online, I remember looking on eBay at the time and you typed in Dragon's Exalted booster box and there might be, 6 to 8 listings on there around that $2,000 to $3,000 mark. You type in Plasma Storm booster box and same thing. You might have 8 to 10 listings on there. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me exactly of going back 3 years right now. So we're in the start of Mega Evolution. We go back 2 years, we're at Sword and Shield. We go back 3 years, we're at Sun and Moon. And you look at those prices. You look at prices of Cosmic Eclipse and you go, well, they're sort of going for $2,000 to $2,500. You look at Team Up and it's going for insane money. You look at even sets like Unified Mind or Unbroken Bonds, or even some of those mid-tier, lackluster, somewhat Sun and Moon sets like Lost Thunder and Celestial Storm, and same thing, they're going for like $2,000. It's insane pricing. My point is, you look at that and you go, again, surely it's done all the appreciation, or those booster boxes have done all the appreciation they can do. Because what happens is you look at the top chase cards, you look at the total set value, you look at the PSA 10 prices and you go, how on earth does it make sense? Like, I remember at the start of 2020, the reason I didn't buy a Plasma Storm booster box was because I was like, well, that secret rare Charizard was going for maybe $500 raw. The secret rare Blastoise was maybe going for $200 raw. The full art Lugia was maybe going for like $150 to $200 raw. And now, of course, they've gone up again, but it just didn't make any sense for that to appreciate anymore. It's like, your total set value and total hits, like how does this box continue to get dearer? And of course the answer is it gets rarer and rarer. But the point I'm trying to make is we can look back, and this is where this story or thoughts are coming from. We can look back at the time and I can go, well, Plasma Storm was dear. Like it seemed too dear to buy. Like surely it's got no legs left to appreciate. And then bang, what do you know? Look at the price it's up to now. And that's the exact same point I'm trying to get across, that now that we're in the start of Mega Evolution era, we go back 3 generations to Sun and Moon, which isn't actually all that long ago. Like we're talking, 2018, 2019, at the time, 5.5 years ago, Black and White, we're talking 2011, 2012. But we look at those sets and we look at Cosmic Eclipse and go, surely it's run out of legs. Surely there's no more appreciation left to go on it. But you know what? There will be. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. Yes, they're expensive booster boxes, but there's still plenty of room for growth left in these sets. And it's just the same thing. It's the same thing on repeat. And this is the whole message or thought process of this video. I talked about the volume that you would see on eBay. And I know I'm just picking one sales platform, but there's plenty others, of course, you can buy from. You look at the sales volume of eBay 5 to 6 years ago when you're looking at Black and White era. And like I said, you might see 8 to 10 booster boxes of Dragon's Exalted or Plasma Freeze or Plasma Storm on there. Now, same thing. I log on to eBay Australia and I look at how many listings there are of Cosmic Eclipse, Unbroken Bond, Unified Minds. Same thing. There might be 8 to 10 listings. And then there might be another 5 or 6 just asking absolutely stupid money, like, 10,000 Australian dollars, which is like $6,000 for a Cosmic Eclipse booster box. No one's going to pay that because the market's not quite there yet. My point is the same. 5 to 6 years ago, the Black and White sets, sales volume was there, 8 to 10. Similar pricing, even though it's older sets, lower printed. Same thing for Sun and Moon. Those booster boxes are sitting around those prices that I was talking about. They're sitting around that $2,000 to $3,000 mark, and there's, very few listing or starting to become very few listings of those booster boxes on eBay. And what will happen is maybe in another 5 to 6 years' time, as we get through to another generation and a generation after that, and Sun and Moon gets as old as what Black and White is to us now, think of that time scale. Is a Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, are those booster boxes going to do sort of, what Dragon's Exalted's done? Gone from a $2,000 booster box or $2,500 booster box all the way up to an $11,000 booster box. And my thought process is they probably will. Very quick interlude. Just want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. You'll see it on the golf shirt here. I've just come off the course. Jeez, it was windy today. Very tough conditions. No excuses though. We don't like to make those. But Collector, awesome app. There'll be a link in the description. So good. You can put all your sealed, all your singles on there. When I was talking just before about set analytics, total hits, total hit value, total chase cards, Collector does it all for you. Like, you can click on set analytics and see the total set value of a set. You can filter price high to low to see what the top chase cards are inside a set. All those things are so important to working out metrics when it comes to investing in the right sets. It's one of the reasons I use Collector, as well as it just being able to track prices quite accurately. So again, link in the description to download that one. Now, back onto the conversation at hand. And here's where it starts to get a little bit interesting, I guess. And this is where it became a little bit more thought-provoking for me, because I get it. You know, you buy something straight out of the gate, like Destined Rivals booster box. And let's say you got lucky and you got some at retail price, somewhere around, you know, 150 to 200 US dollars. You're going to achieve or realize a lot of appreciation. Like, to go from 200 US dollars a box to 400 US dollars a box, you've doubled your money, of course. You're buying in now at like 400 US dollars, it's got to get to $800 before you can double your money. Like, I get it. You're going to get a lot more percentage gains doing it that way, buying stuff at absolute rock bottom retail price. But there's also pros to buying things that are a little bit older and a little bit more expensive. Yes, the downsides are you've missed those massive initial multiplier gains. Like, take, for example, Chilling Reign, which is a fantastic Sword and Shield set. It doesn't quite get the credit it deserves, and maybe that's because it doesn't just have that real gem of a chase card, like, you know, the Umbreon from Evolving Skies, the Giratina from Lost Origin, the Gengar from Fusion Stroke. Maybe that's why it hasn't quite got the love that it deserves. There's nothing wrong with that Blaziken chase card. I love it. I love the set. I love the whole artwork inside the set. But I guess it just doesn't have that absolute banger chase card that people really want to rip it, and just it creates that drive for that set. Maybe it's missing that. Maybe that's why. But needless to say, it's a very solid set. And you look at that set and pricing might be somewhere around, what at the moment, 500 to 600 US dollars, and you go, far out. Like, I could have bought it for 100. I've missed out. Like, now it's 500 to 600. You know, I've missed out on that 5-6x of my money. And it's like, well, hold on. Yes, that's a negative. We understand that's a negative. But a pro is, it's never going to be reprinted again. It's only going to become more rare. Moreover than that, to make so let's say it doubles in the next 3 years. You would have to have the alternative. So it goes from 600 US dollars to 1200 US dollars. You've made yourself 600 US dollars profit. To give an alternative, you would have to buy, you know, of a modern set at 200 US dollars. You'd have to buy 3 of them for it to double to make the same amount of profit. Then you got 3 extra transactions on the way in when you buy them, and 3 extra transactions on the way out when you sell them. So there's a massive positive to buying something a little bit older and a little bit rarer. Moreover than that, another positive would be the storage. Like, I mean, if you want to go ahead and buy 100 booster boxes of something modern because it's super cheap, or 10 booster boxes of something older that's way dearer but only going to double, it's like, I don't know, this is my thought process. You could agree or disagree with me. I'm not giving you advice to do either. I'm just giving another perspective, because I've been stuck in this idea that it's just so much better to buy booster boxes as soon as they come out of the gate at the lowest possible price and just sit on them, which is fine because I got all the time in the world. But I'm just thinking back, and it's like, you know, rather than buying 5 Darkness Ablaze booster boxes, 4 Vivid Voltage booster boxes, countless Champions Path Elite Trainer boxes, imagine if I just bought 1 Plasma Storm booster box. Imagine having that as part of the collection now. A, it would be super cool, having something that's so rare now. And B, the appreciation that's seen has been outstanding. In fact, the appreciation that the Plasma Storm booster box has seen has far outperformed Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, and Champion's Path. So there's just some thought processes to sink your teeth into. Is it better to actually buy something that's a little bit older, a little bit rarer, save space, probably could appreciate more rapidly than something modern, out of print cycles? Don't know. There's some thoughts to wrap your head around. I'm Michael. Thanks everyone so much for tuning in. Your support means a lot, and I'll catch you all next time.